Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Rated Culture Podcast. And today I have a wonderful, lovely guest with me today. I'm going to introduce her. We have Miss Chanel Jasmin Clark, a.k.a. Spiritual Whistleblower in the house today.
Hello.
Yes,
What's up?
Thank you for coming so much.
Thank you for having me.
Great. So, number one, loved your content, loved the message that you're putting out for people. Mm-hmm. I was following you and listening to you since YouTube days, so Kill Jezebel days, those were the days. So it resonated with me so good because I'm working or doing something and I would have my phone to the side. I'm thinking, like, oh, she has the phone, the camera to the wall, but the message still resonated with me. So that I was there for the quality, you know. So reached out to you. Thank you for coming. I'm excited.
Okay.
We're going to talk.
Do it.
Yes, we're going to talk narcissism today. That's a big topic. I think a lot of people are kind of like sensitive about that topic a lot. It triggers people for some reason.
As it should.
It triggers people, so which is fine. You know, it's just the awareness. And I see that you are doing your tour.
Yes.
Right now, yes.
National tour.
International tour. International, yes. Support group tour. There we go. So we're gonna definitely talk about that. And first things first, you've heard about Prince Harry, and Meghan, yes. So I was just I didn't watch the whole interview with Oprah, but there were little signs of some toxic behavior with that, kind of pushed towards narcissism a little bit. What's your thoughts?
I think
little, okay.
Big.
Okay, what's your thoughts on the whole matter?
I mean, the royal family, it's no secret. They've been doing this for centuries. They have bloodshed on their hands from, colonial, slavery days. And it's that generational curse that all of us, no matter what race, when you come from a toxic family, they pass it down generation to generation. It's no different with the royals. They just have money. They just have more money than the rest of us, but they have the same problems, same issues within their family structure. They've passed it down. They didn't like Diana. Diana did not come from royalty. She, it was a forced arranged marriage. And she was the empath, and you could tell she was different from the rest of them. Yeah. She went out, she was a humanitarian, philanthropist. She was a people's person. And they envy, that's the thing about narcissism. Narcissists envy the natural God-given qualities of us empaths. Yeah. And she was just naturally beautiful, a beautiful person. So the royals didn't like her. Her husband clearly didn't like her because he was cheating on her the whole marriage. And, rumor has it allegedly she was murdered. Paparazzis chased her. She was with her boyfriend at the time. People like she was creeping. She creeped because her husband was creeping the whole time. So their marriage obviously was not a happy one. Right. Tough situation. But like I said, just to sum it up, the royal family is no different from my family, your family, anything toxic. They just have more money than us.
Yeah. And it's hidden behind the scenes a lot.
Yes.
They try to cover it up.
It's very covert.
Yeah, very covert. There we go.
They're very sophisticated. They'll put out a public message to address whatever issues with Harry. Behind closed door, they don't like that girl. And they're pissed that Harry is his mother all over again and he's doing his own thing.
Yeah. There was a statement or a post that was saying that pretty much he protected her by removing himself from the family or from the spotlight.
But there's a plot twist because people are saying Meghan's a narc too.
Okay.
The little bit that I've seen of her, she probably is because once Harry, his mama died, his grandmother, the queen narcissist, stepped in that mother role and she groomed and raised him. So if he's around his grandmother's energy as a child and she brings him up, what type of woman do you think he's going to attract?
Exactly.
So, not to put the spotlight on Meghan because people are bashing her, but I mean, he's attracted to what his family has groomed him to be. And, they're like, Meghan's not leaving him. I think she'll punish him behind closed doors if she's a covert, but there's too much fame and notoriety associated to his name for her to just abandon, and I can't see it.
Do you feel like also it was a color issue also included with...
No.
Okay.
My view, racism, I don't believe in racism because when you understand narcissistic abuse, narc abuse is the root of racism. It's the root of animal cruelty, homophobia, pedophilia. It's the underlying issue. It's abuse and violence against the human being. Racism was just created to deflect from narc abuse.
Yes. Yeah.
So when people start understanding that, then you're going to see past the whole color thing. This is bigger than color. This is spiritual abuse. They're trying to murder your spirit and hide behind racism to say, oh, it's a black, it ain't no black-white issue. No.
All right, yeah.
Don't let me get the preaching on
here. Yeah, we're going to get into that. We're definitely going to get into that topic right there.
Yeah.
So since this is March is Women's History Month.
Yes.
So this is, I feel like, a perfect time, and I'm doing a series now as an narcissism, mental health, things like that. So definitely want to touch light with that. The support group tour. So explain a little bit, how's that going for you right now? I see you're traveling a little bit. Oh, you just got back, actually.
Well, I did a support group meetup in Cancun, Mexico last month.
Yes.
Last year was it was me just trying things out. I'm a natural born hustler, but that pandemic, living in the heart of I live in the heart of Manhattan. And when that pandemic hit us, it was like everybody's like, "What now?"
Yeah,
you know,
it was like deserted in the streets.
And I'm like, "Yo, you a hustler. You better learn how to flip already, what you already know." And I'm like, "Do something different."
Yeah.
With a little bit of resources, everyone was losing their jobs and stuff. So I'm like, "Yo, get out here and travel."
Yeah.
And the narcissists in my family, they wanted to see me fail. They wanted me to catch COVID. I have never caught COVID, thank God. I don't think I'm above it. I stay humble, but to live in overpopulated, crowded city with the highest death rate at the time of COVID, and my family is sitting there watching me travel multiple cities over the summer in the middle of the pandemic, never caught COVID. So I'm out here educating people how to, and the domestic violence rate went up during the pandemic because people were forced to quarantine indoors with their abusers. And we got to think about the children too that are being abused, that are trapped. So the pandemic, I think it exposed abusers. It just brought it out. They lost their minds. They were going crazy. And I don't know, but that's what inspired my national tour. I started last summer. I went all over the U.S. I went to Puerto Rico. I went to Jamaica.
Chicago,
and so,
I saw.
I was in Detroit, whole Midwest, Denver, Ohio. I went to Ohio. I went to Detroit.
There we go.
I went to Missouri. So I said, okay, you did it. You did it. 2021, do it bigger and better. So we're going to London and Paris this summer and the whole United States.
There we go.
North, South, East, West.
I saw the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest. Yes. So we booked and busy.
Very.
There we go. There you go. Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So the books. So we're going to get into the books. So I see that you have a couple of books. You have the children's book. I saw that first.
I don't have my children's book with me, but I do. It's called Hello, My Name is Empathy.
Yes, I saw that. That's interesting. What made you decide to do the children's book too?
Because if anyone knows what it's like to co-parent with a narc, it's hell. I've done it. My daughter's 20 now. I don't wish it on anybody. But the biggest question people come to me is, how do I explain this to my child? You really can't explain it to a child because then you'll be bashing the other parent and then you'll look like a bad person. See, the narcissist will bash the other parent. That's what they do.
Yes.
You don't want to be that parent. So I created this book. I said, instead of the parent focusing on the negative, explain to the child, it's like positive reinforcement.
Yes.
Just show them, teach them empathy and consistency and transparency and that God is watching. Enable this and keep reiterating it no matter what that toxic parent is teaching them.
Right.
So I created, this is for small children. I do have a book coming out for teenagers and older children.
Okay,
that
college
is more,
level, Okay,
I break down narc because I had to teach my daughter in her teenage years. So it's time. We in that day and age, they're force feeding it down our children, our teens' throats on social media. They need to be educated. Totally. They need to teach us in high school.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. I wish I would have known this years ago.
Yeah.
It would have stopped so many encounters with just energy, toxic energy.
Yeah.
The co-parenting book, it was the Protecting the Pawn. Yeah.
Protecting the Pawn. This is it right here.
There we go.
There's the camera. Okay.
There you go. So we get protecting.
I just put this out over the weekend.
Great.
Lawmakers, until we can change some laws, and that's my next move, meeting with the lawmakers, because I think New York is the only state right now that, was it last year, every grade level from kindergarten to 12th grade has to have like a mental health course, or it's a course. They're like, children should be able to go check in if they're mental health, if they're depressed or anything. So this is mandated New York state law.
Okay.
So that's my move. But The worst type of situation is to co-parent with this type of individual because they don't co-parent, they counter-parent.
Okay, yeah.
So if you say, let's do this, let's keep things peaceful and let's co-parent and do things peacefully, the narc is going to go the opposite. No, I want to do things this way.
Right.
I want to bring my new girlfriend in, and my new girlfriend's toxic, and I'm going to have your kid around. They do, and the in-laws are toxic too. Your child will be brought up around so much drama. And if you do not let the narcissist, the other parent, control you or sleep with you, because that's why they get you pregnant. They don't love the child. There's no emotional connection. The child is the pawn piece to keep a foot in the door in your life.
Exactly.
And to keep sleeping with you and make sure you don't move on emotionally. Make sure you're not sleeping with nobody. It's just terrible. Yeah. So the lawmakers, my thing is, and no one's said this, I'm going to put it out there. And anyone copy, I'm going to knock you out. My take is this: go to the lawmakers and mandate that both male and female, if a woman's pregnant and paternity is established when a child is born, both parents should be required, mandated by law, to have a full-blown psych evaluation. And that evaluation is stored for family court, and it'll help the judge make better decisions in terms of who to grant custody to. Because these judges are granting custody to the toxic parent, and these children ended up molested or dead. Too many horror stories where children end up in these bad situations.
And they're swept under the rug, too.
With the toxic parent. And this got to stop. It's got to change with lawmakers. So that's my next move.
There we go. I definitely agree. The mother made you, motherfuck you. The identifying toxic. Yes, one.
This is my favorite out of all.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Mother made you, motherfuck you. You got a toxic mother-in-law, sister-in-law, the in-laws all together, baby. I just poured my experiences into this book. I've had multiple boyfriends with horrible mothers, and it's just the same story over and over again. The mama's a narcissist. Women want to know why there's so many fuckboys. Why are men the way they are? Well, behind every toxic man is the woman that raised him. Everything that he learns about a female comes from his mama. People can say, oh, there's a lack of father and men in the household. That's a contributing factor. But what he learns about a female, how he interacts, relates before he loses virginity, it comes from his mama. So if she's toxic and narcissistic, controlling, manipulative, messy, two-faced, those are the type of females he will attract and he'll want to settle with. But he'll want the strong woman, but he won't know how to relate to a strong woman because his mama's not strong.
That's right. Yeah.
He'll attempt to break that strong woman to bring her down to his mama's level or the other women that he's dealt with. So once, I figured out the game. Now I'm just teaching ladies now. Before you sleep with this man, figure out the upbringing and what type of woman his mama is. That is what type of woman he will relate to the best. And if she's trash, get up out of there. She's going to be jealous of you.
Wow.
Because you're not trash.
Wow. Next book, Go to Hell, Jezebel.
Yes. This book I did. This is a miniature book. Men are simple. And I just kept it quick and to the point for my brothers. It's a book on how to identify the female narcissist, which I feel, in my opinion, is worse than the male narcissist. That's why I did the whole book on the mother-in-law. The mother's influence is much stronger than the male over both her children. So it's just me teaching brothers how to spot these females, because females are a little bit sneakier, more conniving. And men are visual. If she's got her cleavage pushed up and her face is beat and she looking good, he's going to overlook that because he's thinking with the wrong head. So the covert female narcissist, she's wicked with it. And I do care about brothers. I'm not a male basher. I'm a narc basher. Know the difference. So I did do a book for my brothers, for my men.
Last but not least, this breakup manual. Yes.
This was my first baby.
Yes, that's the one I saw personally.
This was the one that got me in the game, and it's for my ladies, but it's a basic
signs, traits, little
things, just a really quick guide. Really, it's not detailed, but it just touches the cover, the top of it all.
Very nice. Yeah. So I definitely want to promote that, and we can see more coming for any more books coming soon in the process. After, I know you just dropped one of them, but you for the year, you plan on writing anything more?
Yes, for the teenagers. There's a lot of parents that don't know how to talk to their teenagers about the other parent being a narcissist, and that's I got to get that out there.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
because
it's
these kids are
definitely it.
resilient, and trust me, if you talk to them, they'll get it, and
Yeah.
they already know. They know something's wrong with the other parent. They just don't know there's a name for it. So it's
Right.
time that we start educating
Agreed.
our teens.
Agreed. Thank you so much. So to the listeners, real quick, if you're listening, please like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. We're going to get into some of the questions for narcissism. So starting off, healthy relationships versus narcissistic relationship. Just give us a quick, what's the key identity that difference the two from healthy to narcissistic?
I would say a healthy relationship is you're both equally yoked. You both have a very spiritual connection to God, because that is the basis of any relationship. God should be first and foremost. Even though you both are individuals, you have to have an understanding that you're not going to agree on everything, and how you problem solve in the relationship is critical. Like, we can agree to disagree. I'm not going to raise my voice. I'm not going to raise my hand to you. We can disagree and we can go on about our day because we love each other. You know, it's more about peace and resolving things in a healthy manner, but understanding we're not going to agree. There are going to be difficult times. There's going to be challenges and obstacles, but I don't have to abuse you or break you down or do anything disrespectful because we disagree.
Disagree, yeah.
With a narcissist, it's unequally yoked. The narcissist is starting that relationship. They're predators, first of all. They have to lie they got to, equate themselves to your level. You're a high quality person, moral standards, great character, spiritual, and they're going to mirror you. And they have to mirror you in order to get into your good graces. So that's what the love bombing is. And it's usually fast paced. They move very fast. And once they lock you down, then they start behaving. Their real true selves come out, and they start this process of grooming you and trauma bonding you. So it's push pull, passive aggressive behavior, everything they promised you in the beginning, all lies. And then they introduce the cheating. So it's basically a relationship that breaks a strong person down to nothing, so that the narc is fully controlling you, controlling your assets, your resources, your money, your body, so you just see the dynamic. Healthy people don't even engage in that. And healthy people are consistent, by the way. Narcs are inconsistent. They're liars. They're compulsive, pathological liars.
Interesting. So my breakdown of what happened, like a lot of these glossary terms. So being an empath, I have an empathic nature, so I definitely see that attracts a lot of narcissistic people.
Oh yeah, you're a narc magnet.
Yes, definitely. So they see that the spirit is like, okay, I can try to manipulate this person. They're kind, they're nice, things like that. Gift giving, that's secure supply.
That's love bombing.
Okay, it's a part of love bombing. Okay, got the gift. I received the gift giving. Gaslighting, received that. Love bombing, future faking,
triangulation, which is their number one. All they do is put people against each other. They're two-faced. They play people against each other. They love it and live by it.
And then I got to the devalue and discard.
Yes.
So I did experience. I received I'll say the discard, but it was more like I already was checked out.
Yeah.
So the devalue started after So Heavy On. It was very quick, very rushed. So it was
their textbook. They do this with all their victims. They just they rotate. So when they're breaking you down and the relationship is coming to an end, they're already grooming the new person behind your back to replace you.
Yeah.
And then when you're crushed and broken and y'all split up and they're over here with this new person that probably knew about you, they're breaking this person down over here to give you a chance to recuperate and get your energy back up, because when they break this person, they're going to bounce back over here to you. So then that's when it's up to you to say, oh, no, you don't.
No, you don't.
You're not coming back.
Right. In my personal experience, the only way I was able to step away from this person was no contact.
Yeah, that's the only way.
It wasn't like sorry or like can need my space. It was just ignored.
Not even a conversation, because they'll manage to twist the conversation and gaslight you in such a way that you know, all your codependency and everything will just be coming out, and you're gonna be like, oh, I hate you, but that emotional stress is what's going to keep you engaged in this mess.
Right.
So you got to disconnect and go no contact so you can begin your healing process.
Right. Yeah. I see narcissists hate no contact. They don't like that. Because
no.
It's like I had the individual. They're like, why are you ignoring me? Why are you ignoring me? Nothing to say. Already the damage was already done.
Well, it's very important that because we didn't mention narcs live off of narcissistic supply.
Yes.
And what Narc supplies, it is the attention, adulation. It is our energy, our spiritual energy that they crave. It's like oxygen. So they turn into people collectors. They store people on the shelf and they never get enough of collecting people. They're always looking for the next victim. They're predators. So they're looking for new prey. And it's never ending. I don't care how good of a person you are, how much money. That's why you see Wendy Williams, Mary J. Blige, multimillionaire women, and both their husbands, cheated and did them dirty. And they downgraded with women that have nothing. That's because the narc is never satisfied, no matter how much money, how good you look. That's why it doesn't pay to be jealous of the next person. They're going to just abuse everybody that they come in contact with. Yeah.
So I also educated myself about the new supply.
Yeah.
So the new they're usually behind your back the whole time.
Yeah.
They had it going on before that devalue stage.
Yep.
So by the time they devalue you, they're already grooming another person to be in their grasp.
And 9 times out of 10, it's someone recycled already from their past. They prefer to pull people that can work with them, because it's harder for them to break down and train somebody new to be their they need an accomplice.
Yeah.
So it's usually somebody that's been through this with them before, a recycled baby mama, baby daddy, a ex, a toxic ex that enjoys, helping them to stalk and harass.
Yeah.
It's usually somebody recycled.
Okay. Going back, so after my during my no contact period, I did my healing 3-4 months. Then all of a sudden on Instagram, social media, got a Hoover.
Oh
got
yeah,
a Hoover.
They love social media, honey.
Yeah.
That's their playground. That's their playground.
So I got the Hoovering stage, and then question: Hoovering versus stalking. What's the difference, or is it in the same context?
No, it's a huge difference.
Okay.
Stalking is physical. Or cyber stalking. It can be both. And I have a background in professional. I worked for the Internet Bureau for the New York State Attorney General's office. And what we did is we went after people that committed fraud, all types of cyber crimes, everything. So people think I just be talking. No, I live it, and I've worked in the professional industry as well. It's not a game because it turns dangerous, even deadly. But stalking is them actually making... they can stalk you without your knowledge.
Okay.
So driving past your house.
Yeah.
And people will tell me, people that I coach, I had a feeling. I didn't see it, but I felt like somebody drove past my house. That's because they did.
Yeah.
That's the universe telling you
energy.
This fool is driving past your house, or they'll put their family and friends to drive past your house. They got their family and friends stalking you on the internet. So stalking, they can stalk without your knowledge. That's the difference. Hoovering is they make you know
that they're watching. Yeah.
Hoovering is they can disappear for 1 year to 5 years, even come back 20 years. They'll pop up out of nowhere. Phone call, text, inbox you on Instagram. And it's something stupid. Hey, I was wondering if we could be friends. Never be friends with a narcissist. Never.
Never rekindle.
It's not a friend.
Reconcile.
You can't be friend. They never was your friend. This is your enemy. Somebody wants you dead. So hoovering is basically them popping up and putting an emotional hold on you to prevent you. Y'all are not together. Physically, you can move on, but that emotional is what they're concerned with. And to get a rise out of you to suck more supply. And then they're going to ghost and go back to who they were with.
Wow. So you mentioned this in one of your videos. You said that hoovering was a form of disrespect, pretty much.
It's very disrespectful. If they feel like they can hoover you, they feel you're a doormat and that they can come back and do you out until you buck up on them and say, come back again, you're going to jail.
That's how
you got to buck up on them. No
feelings or nothing. Just have to just like, because they came with the intentions to get their needs and get their energy.
It's very sadistic. This is calculated abuse.
Emotional. Yeah.
So it's like when you understand their game plan and that they just rotate their victims and they're trying to keep you pulled in that whore harem, that rotation, you're not going to rotate me. It's over.
Yeah.
You come over here, you go to jail. It's that simple. I don't want a conversation. There's nothing to talk about. But you knew what you was doing. Behind my back, I gave my all, and my all was not enough. And still you are here trying to get more out of me. You selfish SOB.
There we go. Yeah. Explain smear campaign and flying flying monkeys.
Flying monkeys. A smear campaign, all narcs do it because they know they were vicious and terrible to you. You was good to them. So when the breakup comes, because they're incredibly insecure and they're worried about their reputation, what people think, they're going to beat you to, they're going to get out here and say, oh, well, she cheated, she lied, she this, she that. And it's just their weak way of controlling other people's opinions. Controlling the narrative of what really happened.
Yeah.
And they forget that God was watching them the whole time. That's all that matters. If God sees it, that's all that matters. Because the people they're telling this to, they're circle of weak friends and family, and those are not your people anyway. So you shouldn't care, unless the smear campaign affects your job. Yeah. If they're calling your boss trying to get you fired, then you should care because you're messing with my money.
Yes.
Okay. The flying monkeys are their friends, family. They can even turn if you have toxic family members, they'll turn your family against you. Mm-hmm. So, like the Wizard of Oz, have you ever seen the Wizard of Oz? The Wicked Witch had an army of flying monkeys. If you notice in the movie, she stayed in the castle and she sent them, go kidnap Dorothy. Go do this, go that. The flying monkeys are the narcissist minions, his messengers, the people he called on to stalk, harass, keep tabs, bring information. My last relationship, my ex used his baby mother. And this woman is a very weak, insecure woman. There's no way, no man could ever get me to spy on his ex-girlfriend and retrieve information. That's the signs and symptoms of a very sick, toxic, controlling, weak woman. Mm-hmm. Queens don't do that. A queen would say, you still worry about your ex? Goodbye. You call me when you're over her. Because basically he's using her as a tool to keep you reeled into that love triangle. But she's a narc too, so she's in on the shenanigans and she's getting fun out of the drama. And she's getting validation from him too at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So for me, I've been able to, after going through, you have to go through it to understand it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like people don't understand that, like, it's not something to prep for. You have to go through it, then see the signs and then do better. So for me, I started seeing my family, like my aunts.
When you see it, you can't unsee it. You see it in everybody.
That's what I was about to say. For some reason, I thought it was something wrong with me. I started seeing almost like narcissists. I'm like, everybody's a narcissist. Like my family, bosses, supervisors, and even friends. Within the past 2 years, people say what they have to say, but I've cut back on a lot of people.
Very good.
I just feel like, the energy. Yeah. Very self-centered. And these are people I've known for years. Yeah. Family, friends, and bosses. I've noticed that. So with this knowledge, it's very touchy. I understand that it's like a lot of people don't want to talk about it. There's friends that are like, let's not talk about it.
That's because they're toxic.
Must be.
Those of us who are truth seekers, no matter how touchy it is, we want to know the truth.
So to say it. Yeah. Interesting. So what is a number one sign that you're dealing with a narc? As in, like, what's something that's apparent that you cannot, if you miss it, then what is the number one narcissistic trait?
It's more than a number one, but if they bash their exes immediately, if they're trying to rush the relationship very fast, if they say, I love you, you don't love me, you don't know me.
You don't know me.
I'm not your soulmate. So there's and a pattern of inconsistency. Transparency is something that they are not. They are not transparent whatsoever.
At all.
They'll focus on your beauty and blowing smoke up your ass to deflect from what they don't want you to figure out. And when you figure out what they hide, you're already deep into the relationship. So they're very good at hiding things. And also too, in the beginning with the gift giving and stuff, I call it return of investment. That's an actual term, return on investment. They got to pay bills and they'll give you some gifts to gain your trust. That's reinforced intermittence.
Reinforced.
It's like breadcrumbing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna toss you a couple dollars here and there. I'm gonna pay your bills, get you some gifts, but that's just to keep you
around,
trauma bonded to me. Then I'm gonna pull back and then I'm gonna suck you dry and I'm gonna get quadruple. Everything I invest in you, I'm gonna get it back out of you. I'm gonna get quadruple back out of you.
Wow.
So they're groomed. They gotta break. It's like the slave master breaking the slaves down. If you're good behavior, I'll give you some leftovers from my table. I'll feed you like that. But if you're bad, I'm gonna whoop you in the shed, and that's how you break a slave down and control them to get them to do what you. It's the same thing as psychological grooming.
Is there such thing as healthy narcissism?
A lot of people, that's up for debate
Okay.
right now. I don't want to call it healthy narcissism. I want to say self-love.
Self-love,
Let's
yeah.
just call it self-love.
Okay.
Because when you start loving yourself, the toxic people are going to have an issue with you. And we got to get to a point as empaths, like, if I'm being narcissist, and let me put it out there. Everybody has narc traits.
Yeah.
Everybody does. Okay. Everybody does. Especially if both your parents are narcs, one or both, you grew up in it.
In that
so
environment,
you're going to pick up the traits. It's not until you get older and you get out into the world and you get around people that point this out and mirror you, and then you can grow and correct it. The difference is we're growing, and those with full-blown NPD don't change.
Okay.
So we have the ability to change. We make mistakes. We have toxic traits. Sure, I've behaved in ways I'm not proud of, and once I seen it, I corrected it. But the narc will not correct. The narc will fake pretend, like they're correcting or want to go to therapy, but it's all fake. It's all to get something out the situation.
Lack of accountability.
Yes.
Okay. So having narcissistic traits doesn't exactly mean that you're a narcissist, full-blown narcissist. You can still have traits, but be able to. The difference is
everybody that takes selfies, you're being narcissistic.
Yeah.
We all have
that
it.
image. Yeah.
But what separates it is who you are behind closed doors. Are you a snake, a lowlife when nobody's looking? The narc is. Me and you are not.
Yeah.
We don't do people dirty when nobody's looking. That's the difference.
Got you.
Okay?
Got you. Makes sense. This was my thing. I warned the new supply. I got blocked.
I wish you would have called me. I would have said, don't you dare. It always backfires.
You know what's funny? They asked me, oh yeah, I don't know. Or I'm surprised. They acted surprised. Like, oh, this is what they do, or that's how they are. And so after that, block.
But what you don't know, your ex then gave them the 411 on you already. This new person knows about you. They knew about you when y'all was together.
Yeah.
So they're going to play like they don't know what's going on. So what I would tell anybody, never warn the new person. Stay out of it.
That was my
They've got to go through their trials and tribulations with the narc, and they will.
I think they did. I think that was the reason why.
Will.
That's why they got. Why did I get blocked? I had nothing to do with it. And I'm just giving you. In my opinion, I thought I was like helping, but
no.
Yeah.
It always backfires. Stay out of it. Stay out of it. Stay out of it. We're focused on your healing.
Okay, so narcs on dating sites. They're prevalent on all these social media.
I tell everybody, stay off.
Dating.
Stay off.
How do you discern rightly or the better way with the dating and social media, or just a person? What's the best way to discern when you're trying to date instead of, like, you get what I'm saying?
Straight up with me, because I could be in a relationship right now. I could be in several. I'm choosy. I don't want to be bothered. I'm focused on my bag. I want to be a millionaire, yo. I'm trying to get to the bag. Yeah. A man will distract me right now. But in terms of discernment, my next relationship, I need to hire a private investigator. I need to know if you got a baby on the way. I need to know if you still sleep with your baby moms. Never believe nothing that come out of a man or woman's mouth. We're in a day and age now. We got to investigate and do the work. Check people's backgrounds, criminal background, domestic violence. Do you have a gambling addiction? Because if you have a gambling addiction, you're bad with the money. And not only are you going to fuck up your money, you're looking to fuck up my money too. If we're going to be together, you're going to be in my pocketbook trying to get me to support your addictions. Psychiatric. Black men, there's nothing wrong with going to the therapist and getting a psych eval. If you'll go to get a physical, get your body checked, why wouldn't you get your mental? Yeah. But it's just this stigma where it's corny or you look psycho if you got to go to the therapist. That's bullshit.
Especially in the Black community.
Yeah, it's I don't want to be with no crazy man. I don't care if he got money or whatever. I can't do crazy.
Yeah.
I can't do crazy. So the discernment comes from us putting in you got to investigate. Don't take nobody at their word. And if they're a person of quality and good character and morals, they will totally understand. They'll be an open book. They'll be transparent. Yeah. But the moment they start to hide something, get rid of them. You don't go to questioning or whatever. Their behavior will tell you they're hiding something. Disengage and move on.
Interesting. Yeah. Nice. So becoming indifferent. You spoke on, it was a video that I recall. You said just empaths be indifferent.
Disengage and go indifferent.
Elaborate on what's indifferent compared to like gray rocking. What is
I'm not not a big fan of gray rocking. Gray rocking is a method where you have to.
I feel like you're still tangled a little bit.
Well, you are entangled.
Yeah.
Narcs love entanglements. If they can't get you with marriage or a baby, they're going to get entangled through a mortgage, apartment lease, cell phone lease. If you go into business with them, they've got to stay entangled some type of way. So when they break up with you, they have a reason to call. They got a foot in the door. Well, we got a lease together. We moved our furniture together in a U-Haul, storage. So, this is why I'm calling. No, you're calling because you're being nosy and you want to stay on my mind. That's what you're calling for.
Yeah, I can see that. It's side story. So my last narc. So
don't claim that narc. Say the last narc.
The last narc.
Don't claim him.
Yeah, the last narc ended up getting a dog with the new supply. And so, I mean, that's, that was my business.
Pets are a big one. That's a whole nother, pets are a big topic.
They ended up living together. Not going to get into that, but the dog was surprising. I think it was the new supplies dog, but somehow they co-parented the dog.
The dog or cat is like the child. It's no different than co-parenting with a narc and you have children together. They will treat that pet
same way
like a collateral placeholder, a pawn piece. And I've heard stories where the narc has kidnapped the dog to hold it against their lover's head and all type of situations. Number one, don't move in with somebody. If you're not married, you shouldn't be living together. I fucked up and did that. I will never do it again. Because a narc will get you behind closed doors, they'll break you down into becoming their slave. They're controlling your finances. They're controlling what you wear. You can't go anywhere. You can't have friends. You can't have a life. And you're not even married.
Yeah.
So I'm giving girlfriend duties, wife duties to a boyfriend. Unacceptable. And then it's still, everything you're doing is never enough. They're going to drain you and they're still going to be cheating outside the relationship. They're always on a quest looking for more. They're never fulfilled. They have insatiable appetites for sex. They're sex addicts. They're nasty. And they're closeted. They're on the down low. And they're pedophiles.
Pedophiles, yeah. I heard about that.
So when I say they need narc supply like oxygen, they'll take it from they'll sleep with animals. We're talking about some really nasty, demonic, don't put nothing past them.
Soul ties. Breaking soul ties. Narcissism or narcissistic individuals have this tie with and trauma bond. So breaking soul ties, that's a part of.
I don't like using the word soul tie. No? I like to say demonic stronghold.
Demonic stronghold.
Because soul tie to me is eternal. I think of God when you say soul tie. I think of spirituality, and there's nothing spiritual about these creatures.
At all, yeah.
Demonic strongholds.
Okay.
Through sex. Spiritual, they can transfer spiritual demonic energy in your womb. That's a whole nother topic because your body will manifest physical diseases and cancer. And if you're pregnant, your unborn baby, autism, developmental delays, all type of things happen with children, heart defects because of narc abuse while they're in their mother's womb.
Wow.
This is not a game.
Yeah.
It's not a game. So, it's big. This is bigger than my work is cut out. Yeah. But I'm getting social media is starting to expose this behavior everywhere. And it's just, I'm grateful for podcasts like these. I'm going to try to do as many as I can internationally and get out here and educate. And this is my call. And this is my work. I'm doing God's work, but it's not work to me. I love it.
And so many people need this because even when I try to explain to my friends and family, I feel like they don't get it.
You can't because if they're narcs, they get it. They're just, narcs do this thing called moving the goalpost.
Moving the goalpost. Okay.
So when you think of a game of soccer and you're trying to kick the ball in the goalie and the narc is standing there, they're supposed to block the ball. They're not just going to block the ball. They're just going to move the whole goddamn goalpost out the way. So the ball never stood a chance. And that's the mess with you. And downplay, invalidate anything coming from you. And they know it's the truth. You could be standing there with evidence in your hand. I don't want to look at your evidence.
I've noticed a lot of victim roles. Yeah. Playing victim.
Totally.
Deflecting.
Yep.
Blaming.
Blame
victim.
shifting. Yep.
Yeah, most honestly victim because I went to a relative and I didn't say narcissist. They say never tell a narcissist they're a narcissist or you're narcissistic.
Well, they know that they are, but don't call them that.
Yeah, don't call them that. So went to this relative. I just was like, your attitude, like how you're moving, very self-centered. Oh, well, this is, very victim. Just very victim. And then deflected, I think ended up giving me money, something, like some gift, but very up here. Yeah, manipulative. Yep. It's a sense of entitlement that I'm trying to understand.
Yeah.
That I don't know where it comes from.
Your original abusers, it's mom or dad. It's mom or dad, or it's both. My case, it's both. And
I say both.
When you figure this out, it's like, oh my God. I cannot unsee it in people. Like, I look for it now. I look for it. So I can avoid and know how to bob and weave your BS. So you're not going to bring that over here with me.
My thing now is I feel like I have to stop. It was to the point I was like, everybody, like, you, nurse, like, that's where I had to stop to be like, okay, let me use my discernment and use my knowledge to notice that it's a fine line between healthy, accountable, narcissistic, toxic.
And to take it a step further, this is why I always use the story of Moses, the book of Exodus. What if I told you before your mother pushed you out of her womb, God marked you? He marked you and called you to be the chosen one in your family. And when you come into the family, you don't understand in childhood why you're bullied, attacked, molested, picked on your whole childhood. That's my childhood. It was awful. And then the family turn on you and they sweep the dirty secrets underneath the rug. And you go on to be successful regardless of everything they put you through. And they got a problem with it still. I beat the odds. I became more successful than the family. And y'all still are treating me like trash. Wow. So it's confirmation that all those attacks and the way that your family are behaving, it means that God called you to be the one to break this dysfunction. The dysfunction ends with you. And it's a gift. Even though the attacks were brutal and then you went through what you went through, Moses did too. Jesus went through it too. But we're the chosen ones. What an honorary gift to have, to be bestowed upon, that God chose me to put my family in check. Yeah. I love it. I embrace my gift.
Wow. And I feel, even for me, I feel like it's such a third eye. Yeah. For some reason, and unfortunately, you had to take heartbreak and a lot of realization. But now I feel like I'm more like 10 steps ahead. And
you feel like Neo from the Matrix, honey. You the one. I see everything. I can see through the walls.
And for some people, it triggers so many people because they think like, I can't get past him. And it's not. People want to say insecurities. People want to say overthinking. Nah, I'm just trying to protect myself. No, and it's nothing personal.
The days of explaining yourself to people, I don't explain myself to nobody. That used to be me, and that's a toxic trait. Toxic people love to get you in a position where you're explaining yourself, and they're not doing it to understand you. They're just getting off watching you explain yourself because it makes them feel bigger. I don't explain nothing no more. What I say goes the first time. Either you get it or you don't. Bye.
Wow. So a narc's greatest fear is abandonment. They're afraid of that for the most part.
Abandonment. I used to say exposed, but I mean, you can expose them today. They'll feel like T.I. Tiny. They're being exposed for being predators, and they are predators. But
interesting.
They're feeding off the attention. Negative attention to a narc is still supply. Good or bad attention. That's why I say you got to be indifferent. So abandonment is their greatest fear because they cannot be alone. That's why they're sex addicts. They'll sleep with anything, children included. They cannot be alone. They're terrified of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We're short on time for this segment, but I would like to do a part 2 with you.
I would love to come back.
Please. I would like to talk about narcissism in the workplace a little bit.
The whole damn HR department is comprised of narcs.
HR departments. Okay. A little bit of family. We'll get into like relatives and the baby fathers, that part. So I definitely would like you to come back.
Absolutely.
Thank you for promoting your book. And we'll have to just check you guys out next time. Thank you everybody for listening, and we'll tune in with you later.